Hi, third grade. I'm so excited. We are going to start our Tints and Shades Wayne Thiebaud Slice a Cake. And I'm really excited because I haven't taught this lesson before. And I'm really excited to see how it turns out for you. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. So, all right, so we're gonna start by drawing the slice of cake. And so I want my paper to be the horizontal way. And so when you get started, you're gonna pick a point, and if you mess up, you can always erase, um, or you can get a new paper, flip it over, do what you need to do. All right. So what we want to start off with is we want to start off with a curve, kind of like that. Then from the center of the curve, I'm gonna go down. And at some point where I want the end, like the tip of the corner of my cake to be, I'm going to make a dot. And then from there, I'm going to connect those edges to kind of create like a curved triangle. It's going to be the top of our slice of cake. All right. And then, so what we want, you might want to use a straight edge for this next part. I'm just going to draw lightly because I might be doing some erasing. I'm going to make two vertical lines going down, and how long you make it will be how thick your slice of cake is going to be. And then you want to follow this angle going down. Make that messed up a little, that's okay. And there we go. So now our slice of cake looks nice and 3D, and we're going to make it look even more 3D. It's going to be so awesome. So now I'm going to start to add kind of like the layers of frosting. So a layer of frosting will be on the side. It will also be underneath the top part of our cake. And it's up to you if you want 2 layers of cake, but I'm going to go for 3. I want to show lots of tints in my cake. So I'm going to have like 3 layers of cake on there. Oh, yeah, that's looking awesome. All right, and then how you decorate your edge is up to you. I think I'm going to make some I don't know, kind of like little curly cues, little swirls of frosting. I told you this is going to be fun. And then I'm going to erase this line as best as I can. I'm going to bring those lines back in. And now I have kind of like the edge of my cake. And then if you want to do any details on the top, that's up to you how you want to do that. I think I'm going to have kind of like a strawberry sitting on top. I'm going to draw that. And I'm not going to do the seeds now because I'll just probably paint over that and do that later. But what you want to do when you have your cake all drawn out, what you want to do is you want to have it sitting on some sort of plate, because we don't want cake just on the table. No, no, no. This is our fancy cake. It deserves a nice fancy plate. If you want to make some decorations on the plate, I'm going to extend that out a little bit, make that a little skinnier. Erase kind of that. And I'm going to make kind of like few lines for like the edges of the plate right there. And I kind of have room for a fork, and the fork is going to be kind of over here. Should I do a 3 or a 4-prong fork? Yeah, I think I'll do just a 3. It's up to you if you want to even include that. I just like to have, and maybe this will be a fancy fork, it'll have kind of like a fancy kind of edge to it. Erase that. And so right now our cake and our plate and our fork, it's kind of floating in the air, so we need like a base for it to sit on. So I'm just going to create kind of like a table, kind of going through the back right there. Well, that's kind of crooked. Let me fix that a little bit. And I wouldn't do any like more details than that. Like if you wanted to make something in the background later, that's fine. I'm going to get to that when we start painting. I don't want you to outline because if we do any outlining, haven't decided if we want to do any outlining. If we do any, we'll be doing it after we paint because you're just going to cover it up with paint anyway because we're going to use tempera and tempera is thick. So it's up to you, but like on the table, if you want any other details, maybe if you want like a fancy candlestick or something, that is up to you for your monochromatic painting. All right, so now I'm going to start to paint in, and I'm going to start with the cake and with the frosting in particular. So with my frosting, I kind of want it to be a hot pink. You want to show different tints and shades in here, and it's up to you where you put those tints and shades. Remember, not tones. We're not focusing on adding gray to our project. So make sure that your white and your black don't mix. So I'm going to take a little scoop of red, maybe more than I'm going to add just a little bit of white to it, and it's kind of creating like a hot pink. Ooh, looking good. And so when you're painting, you still want to be careful, but one thing what I like about the thick tempera paint is that if needed, you can always let it dry and then paint over it. And so I'm going to be very careful around the edges. Kind of want to like outline your areas. Like I'm going to paint over that strawberry. I'm actually going to get a smaller brush for this because I kind of need it. Outline those areas and then I'm going to paint that in. Make sure you also make enough of your color, of your tint or your shade for the area that you want. Oh, that's looking sweet already. Huh? Get it? Sweet because it's cake? Oh, I'm so funny. Gosh, I should be a comedian. And if you're going to do something that's pretty much white, like if you're going to have the plate be white in this project, I would like you to paint it in white. That way I know it's not unfinished. A good painter always covers their entire picture plane, their entire painting, even if it is white. But I think I'm going to make this like a super, super light tint for my plate. All right, and I think I'm going to start doing shades for the background. I'm going to kind of let that dry. Depends on where you get in your project for that day. Take your time. Like if I started to do the little black seeds in the strawberry, I might get it a little messed up because it's wet right now. You can kind of see how it's shiny on my screen. So be careful with that. Let's see. I think for my fork, I think I want it to be a shade. Not that much of a shade. Like the very light one. Nice burgundy. So I'm going to have to be super careful. I'm probably going to get some tint mixed in just because it's wet right now, but you guys should be careful about that. And I think I'm going to make my table an even darker shade. I think my strawberry is ready for those details. It's still a little bit wet, but yeah. And there we go. We're going to let this dry, and it'll look a lot more even once it's dry. But that's the basics of our painting project. Oh, I actually thought of one more thing. I could make like the edge of the plate be a tint too. All right, and if you wanted, like, wait till it's dry, but if you wanted to add like any other details, like maybe like a picture or window kind of in the background, wait till it's dry and then you can layer over that. All right, thanks for watching.